Hello. So today I want to talk about double entry notes, and I'll try to keep this short. So I'm going to share my screen a minute so you can see the double entry note template. Um, this has two columns. On one side, it says copy and paste a quote from the text you are reading into this column. Make sure you are able to include the page number the quote was on, assuming it has page numbers. If it's from a website, just include a link somewhere in your notes. If the passage you want to quote is long, you can summarize it instead. So this first column is basically the text. It could be a short quote, long quote, summary, but it's what it said in the text you're reading. On the other side, this is where you respond to the text. You can choose to answer one of these questions. What do you think about it? Do you agree or disagree? Why? Can you relate to it? How have you had a similar experience? What was that experience? Why is this idea important to you? Why might it be problematic? Who is affected by it? Why? You don't need to answer all of these questions, just pick one. The goal of double entry notes is that you read, but you don't just read and forget what you read. You really look at the text and think about what lines are important, why they're important, what they mean to you, what you think about them. I really want you to engage with reading. Don't just be a passive reader, be an active reader. And if you read looking for important lines, looking for connections, questioning what you read, you'll remember what you read and you'll understand more of it. And if you find you're doing this and you're still not understanding things, take the most confusing lines, put those in your notes and ask questions about them. And um, use that as a way to identify what's confusing you, and then you can ask me for clarification or help. I'm going to give a quick example. I'm going to switch my screen a minute so that it shows an article. This is The Turtle Mothers Have Come Ashore to Ask About Unpaid Debts. This is by one of my favorite authors. Um, I'm just going to read a paragraph or two, say out loud what I'm thinking about it, and then pick a line to include in my double entry notes in my response. So each summer I teach at Cranberry Lake Biological Station, a remote wilderness field school in the Adirondacks. That sounds like that would be a nice way to spend a summer. It's a community of scientists and students surrounded by rich forests and glittering lakes where bears and loons are our neighbors. I would like to go to this place, I think. Bears kind of scare me, but loons, I don't know if you've ever heard them, but their calls are so calming to hear. We may think we're learning about wildlife, but in fact, we're learning from them. One of our best teachers returns every summer, just after the solstice, clambering her way up a steep bluff from the lake under the cover of darkness to lay her eggs in the warm, open sand of her volleyball court. With powerful bear-like paws, she flings the sand aside, her sharp-snouted mouth opening and gasping for breath. She rests for a minute. Then she digs some more with fierce maternal commitment and utter disregard for the students who surround her, snapping photos as eggs with leathery ping pong balls leave her body. When she has covered them safely and trusting them to the earth, she makes her way back to the water. Um, that was a really beautiful description of that turtle. But I'm actually going to go back to the paragraph because I think the key line in these first two paragraphs is this. We may think we're learning about wildlife, but in fact, we're learning from them. And I'm going to copy that into my side of the column where I put quotes from the text. And I switch my share again so that you can see what I'm writing. So you see I copied the quote there. I'm also going to put a link to the article that kind of messed with my format a little bit. Something. Uh, maybe I can paste. Nope, it's not gonna let me. Okay. Well, we're just gonna live with weird formatting. I don't really care about the formatting with this assignment. It's more um about active reading. And the other benefit of this too is as you do this, you pull these important quotes out of the article and put them here. You're essentially organizing your information because when you read for my class, more than likely you're going to need to write something about what you've read. So by pulling all your favorite quotes from the text into one document, then when you go to read the essay, you don't have to go hunting through the text for them. Like you have them all organized, already pulled out, so it'll be easier to find and it'll make it easier to write your essay. So back to the notes themselves. So I have my quote pulled, and now I want to write my reaction to this. So I have to think about this quote. We may think we're learning about the wildlife, but in fact, we're learning from them. Uh, so it sounds like even if people go, let's see, into the wilderness, study animals, the most valuable, let's see, I'll say maybe they learn more than they plan to. I mean, essentially, right? Like animals have, say not even animals, but just nature in general. Nature has a lot to teach us. By studying living humans who aren't people, we're studying not living humans. What am I thinking? Living beings who aren't human. We can learn a lot about how to live better and take care of the earth. Um, I mean, this is what I think that quote means. Um, and I think it's really important to learn from and preserve all the creatures of the earth. Um, I have read a lot of other stuff by this author, and I know she's really big on what we can learn from nature and how that can make us better humans. So I'm kind of, I guess, connecting this quote to other things I know about this author. And given like the background knowledge I have about her, like I know this is probably going to be the thesis of the article. Uh, and for the sake of time, I'll stop here. But if I were to keep going, every 3 or 4 paragraphs, I would pause, try to pick what I thought was sort of the golden line or the, sentence that really stands out, something that is illustrative of a key idea, put it in my notes, and then write my response to it. So I'll stop my share, but if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks.